Okay, hello everyone. Guys, we're going to go over this practice worksheet. We're just going to practice simplifying some radicals, okay? First one, square root of 112. Guys, that's equal to 16 times 7. Again, we search 112 for a factor that's a perfect square. Okay, guys, and I keep this thing really close by. 16 is right here. I just kind of run down this side and just see, are any of these factors of the number that I'm working with? And if it is, that's the factor I want to pull out. All right, any perfect square factors. All right, the square root of 16 is 4, so it's 4 times square root of 7. All right. Because 288 is 144 times 2. 144, square root of that is 12. 12 times the square root of 2. It's just that simple. Guys, 125 is 25 times 5, and 5 is a perfect square, or 25 is a perfect square. It's 5. So write it like that. Once you get the square root of 25, that's 5. Just write it down. Just like this one, the square root of 64 is 8. All right, done. All right, the square root of 128. So it's 64 times 2, and there's a 2 in front. Don't forget about the 2. Just leave it there. The square root of 64 is 8. And the square root of 2 just comes along. Just leave it there. 2 times 8 is 16. So there's your final answer. All right, 48. Again, I search for a factor of 48. That's a perfect square. All right, 16 times 3. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 3 comes along. And 7 times 4 is 28. All right, guys, number 7. So negative 5. Just leave the negative there. Just leave the negative 5 right there. 32 is 16 times 2. Square root of 16 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20, and leave the negative there. And the square root of 2, just leave it there, okay? There's no perfect square in there, so just leave it square root of 2. Same with this one. 200 is 100 times 2. Square root of 100 is 10. All right, leave the negative in front. All right, 8 is 4 times 2. And p to the 4th, I can write it as p squared and p squared. And guys, what's the square root of that? Just take one of them out. That eliminates them both. Take one of them outside the radical sign and put it right there. That eliminates them both. Right? All that's left is the square root of 2. Because the square root of 4 is 2, and that can come outside the radical sign. All right, number 10, this is 72. It's 36 times 2. Right? The square root of 36 is 6. Again, the n just stays inside the radical. There's nothing you can do with it. When there's only 1 in there, just leave it alone. All right, number 11. In this case, guys, there's 4 x's in there. So we can take them all out. It's an even number of x's. We can take them all out. So we'll have x squared outside. Again, because that's x squared times x squared. All right, 245 is 49 times 5. And the square root of 49 is 7. All right, the negative 2 comes along, so we end up with 2 times 7 is 14. And the x squared stays outside. All that's left in the radical is the square root of 5. That's all that's left is the 5. All right, number 12, 98 is 2 times 49. 49, again, is a perfect square. It's 7. I can take it out. All right, leave the negative 2 right here. Guys, an x to the 4th means I can take it outside. It becomes x squared outside. Because it's x squared times x squared. The square root of that leaves us with x squared outside. And all that's left inside is the 2. All right, 2 times 7 again is 14. All right, 13, we have two different variables, but don't worry about it. Just treat them individually. All right, you have 18 again, which is 9 times 2. You have x to the third. So just write it like x squared and x. Because the square root of x squared is just x. And the x, two of those x's can come out as 1x outside. The same with this. You have y squared and y squared. Take them both. You eliminate both of them by taking outside. Now there's 1 outside. Right, the only thing inside the radical that's left is a 2 and an x. So those are inside under the radical. Everything else is outside. And because there's two y's and only one x, it's proper to write the y first. Y squared x. All right, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just saying that's proper because there's more y's than x. So that will come first. All right, the last one, 14. Again, 36 is a perfect square. That's 6 times 6. So the square root of 36 is just 6. That comes right out. All right, the square root of u to the fourth is u squared. And the square root of v squared is v. So everything comes out of this one. There's nothing left inside. There's no radical left. This entire thing in here is a perfect square right there. It all comes out. 6u squared v comes out. And then 8 times 6 is 48. All right? Leave the negative sign. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks. Make sure you do the exit ticket today, okay?